being the type A person that I am. This book is crazy. Not what I thought it was gonna be, to be honest. I loved that concept because it's something I've never heard before. Hello besties, my name is Savannah and welcome back to my channel. We are approaching the end of 2024. So this video is not gonna end until I complete my Goodreads goal. So in 2023, I set myself a goal of 40 books. And in 2024, I decided to really amp it up. I set my goal to 100 books. And I'm actually somehow almost there. I've read 97 books so far this year. So in this video, we're gonna read 3 more books so I can get to 100 and complete my goal. I saw Destiny Sidwell do this video idea and I just thought it was such a fun idea because I'm gonna use this video as motivation to complete this goal. Obviously, reading goals aren't everything. Like, reading is supposed to be for fun. And there's that statistic that says if you literally read 1 book in a year, you're reading more than the average American. So any and all reading is great. Being the type A person that I am, when I set a goal, I'm setting out to achieve it. So yeah, I thought I would start off by giving you guys the rundown on everything that I'm reading right now. I don't normally like to read a bunch of books at once, but somehow I ended up reading 4 books currently. First book that I'm currently reading is on my Kindle, and it is Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. It's the 4th book in the Addicted/Callaway series. I've been reading it on my Kindle as like my before bed book because I really like reading on my Kindle before I go to sleep, and I've really been enjoying it. I am so glad that I decided to continue this series because, to be honest, I read the first 3 books in the series and wasn't sure I was going to continue. I honestly didn't really like the 3rd book. I mean, obviously, I liked the first 3 enough to finish them, let's be real. I kind of thought I was going to stop there, but curiosity got the best of me and I just needed to know more about Connor Cobalt because I feel like he's so many people's favorite book boyfriend. So here I am continuing the series and I'm so glad that I am. The first 3 books follow Lily and Lo, who are both struggling to handle their addictions. This 4th book in the series follows Rose and Connor, and Rose is Lily's sister. There's a big found family aspect to this series. I feel like that's why so many people love it so much. But basically, in this book, Rose's clothing line that she has is suffering. So the opportunity for her and her sisters and all of their friends to go on a reality show comes up, and Rose takes this opportunity because she wants more people to buy her clothes, obviously, and this is a great way to promote them. Lily, Lo, Rose, Connor, Daisy, all the sisters have flower names, and Reich are on this reality show together where they all have to live in one house. And I recognize that this plot is kind of crazy and unrealistic. It feels like it's like one of those books that would have kept me up till 3 a.m. reading on Wattpad when I was younger. Sometimes writing like that just hits. But yeah, I think I will definitely finish this book in this video, but let's talk about the other ones that I'm reading. I'm also currently doing the tandem read, the Throne of Glass series. So this is Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. If you're unfamiliar with the ways in which you can read the Throne of Glass series, you can either read, this is the 6th book in the series and this is the 7th book in the series, or you can read them at the same time, kind of alternating chapters. There's tons of guides on like Pinterest and Google if you want to look it up. I decided to read them in tandem because I've never done any like tandem reading experience and I was curious. So I'm not super far into these. I'm like 100 pages into both about, but they're each over 600 pages. So I'm not entirely sure that I will finish these in this video because I'm really taking my time with them as to not enter any kind of book slump. Not to say that they're boring because I am enjoying them. It's just, they're so long. And the final book that I'm currently reading, and I just have to say, these books could not be more different from one another. They're all like entirely different genres. This is like a literary fiction book called Rules of Civility by Amor Towles. And I am reading this book because it is my mom's favorite book. She got it for me a few months ago, and honestly, when anybody buys me a book, it like skyrockets to the top of my TBR because I want to be able to talk about it with them. And the audiobook for this became available on Libby, which is my saving grace. Because to be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure I'd be able to get through this book without the audiobook. Last night, I sat down with a puzzle and my headphones and powered through a big chunk of this audiobook. But the preface starts off in the 60s and the main character Katie is walking through this photography art gallery and she spots 2 different pictures of this man that she used to know. In the first one, he's like dressed in finery and looks like a well put together man, and in the second one he looks like he's lost all of his riches. So that's the preface. And then we go back in time to the 30s and we're reading about Katie's 20s and reading about how she met this man and her friendship with this man and her friendship with her best friend Eve and how the 3 of them used to all hang out. It gives very much just like days in the life vibes. The plot isn't super enticing in my opinion, and I feel like that's why I'm getting bored. And I feel a little bad saying that because you can tell that the writing is amazing. Like, you can tell that Amor Towles is an incredible author. I think the plot just didn't grip me. My mom loves a historical fiction moment. I'm just not sure I'm a big fan. However, I do want to finish it because I want to be able to talk to my mom about it. And I have the audiobook, so I can just listen to the audiobook when I do other stuff to help me get through it. So yeah, that's everything that I'm currently reading. A bit of a long intro, my apologies. I just wanted to catch you guys up to speed. I guess I will just catch you guys when I continue one of these books and we work our way towards finishing 100 books this year. This book is crazy. I have less than 100 pages left now, so I think I will finish it tonight when I get home from work. What do I say about this book? It feels like watching addictive, trashy reality television, which is kind of funny because they're like on a reality show in the book. I'm still enjoying Rose and Connor's perspectives more than I enjoyed Lily and Lo's perspectives, but Connor Colbot's crazy, guys. I'll leave it at that. These are honestly great books for me to read in between like my longer fantasy books. They don't take any brain power and they're such page turners because the plots are insane. Okay, besties, it is update time because I have now completed my 98th and my 99th book of this year. As you saw, I completed the Rules of Civility. Oh wow. You saw I completed the audiobook for Rules of Civility, and that book was really not what I thought it was gonna be, to be honest. I for some reason thought that the Rules of Civility were gonna be like society's rules for women at the time. Our main character was going to challenge these rules from like a feminist standpoint, but it turned out that the Rules of Civility is actually a book written by George Washington on how an upstanding man in society was supposed to act. And our main male character was the one who abided by those rules like it was the Bible. If you are into historical fiction books, I think you might actually really like this, but unfortunately it wasn't for me. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna rate it because I honestly just finished it so that I could talk to my mom about it because my mom really enjoyed the book. Once I talk to my mom about it, I'll be curious to see if any of my opinions change, if she points out anything that I missed. I think Rules of Civility just wasn't the book for me. I feel hilarious transitioning from talking about this like acclaimed piece of literary fiction to talking about Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Kiss the Sky was the 99th book that I've completed this year. And that book was once again not at all what I was expecting. I knew we were going to get Rose and Connor's point of view. I had no idea the things we were going to find out about them. That book was extremely spicy, so be forewarned if that's something that you like or you don't like. Yeah, something that happened at the end kind of confused me because as a character, Rose is a total control freak, and in the end, everyone surprises her with something. She's just like totally fine with it. I feel like her character would be a little bit upset because she would have wanted to have complete control and planned everything about it. So that was kind of jarring to me. Maybe it was just their way of showing that she's growing to care less about control in some situations. Once again, I don't know what to rate this book because I did really enjoy it, but I enjoyed it in like a Wattpad story type of way. So I think I'm gonna wait to rate all of the books until the end of this video. But now we are on to 100th final book of my Goodreads goal for 2024. I'm trying to decide what I want it to be. I don't want to rush through the tandem read from Throne of Glass, so I don't think it's going to be that. I'm kind of leaning towards this book called Night Strider by Sophia Slade. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and the Barnes & Noble where I work is doing a little book club for this book, so I feel like I should read it. I honestly couldn't tell you guys what it's about yet, so maybe I will check back in after I've read a little bit and let you know a bit about the plot and what I'm thinking about it. Okay, hi guys. I am now about halfway through Night Strider, so I definitely need to give you an update now that I know what the story's about. 4 point of views in this book, which at first, not gonna lie, scared me. But I've started to really enjoy each of the point of views, and they're kind of starting to cross over, so it's gonna be very interesting to see if they all 4 kind of meet up at the end. This book takes place in a world where there's 2 realms. There's the waking realm, and then there's the, what's it called? Basically like the nightmare realm. And for beings to materialize. For beings to materialize in this like nightmare realm, they need to be like dreamed up by someone who's sleeping. So our Night Strider, whose name is Ren, is a nightmare. We get her point of view. We also get Kane's point of view, who is like a prince in the waking realm. Isla's point of view, who is a queen who's in an arranged marriage to Kane in the waking realm. And we get Alaric's point of view, who's a part of the rebellion in the nightmare realm. And the nightmare realm is ruled by Para. We're gonna call him Para because I forget his real name right now. Anyways, the nightmare realm is ruled by Para, and he is a night terror. So he is like the most powerful of the beings in this realm, and he's horrible. So yeah, this world is so cool because I feel like I've never read, it's definitely a dark fantasy book, but I've never read a fantasy book that feels like a world, like the world is so creative and something I've never seen before. So that is definitely very fun. Even though Kane and Isla are betrothed, there isn't really like a romance there. I wouldn't really say there's like an obvious romance in the story yet. There's been like one spicy scene, but it was like more friends with benefits, not like a romance situation. So I'll be interested to see if any like romance blossoms, but I definitely wouldn't call this a romantasy book. I would call it a fantasy book. So far at least. Ren, the Night Strider, is badass, obviously. The book's named after her and she's on the cover. And she, I don't know if I'm making, I feel like I'm jumping around all over the place describing this book, but Ren, kind of like a soldier for the para guy. She gets severely punished when she doesn't complete a mission, so she's kind of decided that she wants to join the rebellion. Lots of crazy things are happening. Things are unfolding, obviously. And I'm excited to keep reading this book. Pretty sadly. Okay, but now that I've read my 100th and final book of my Goodreads challenge, screen record me marking the book as read. Day progress, read. Yay! Look at that, 100 out of 100 books read. Yay! Now let's talk a little bit more about Night Strider. As I mentioned yesterday, it takes place in a very creative and unique world. It is split up between the waking realm and the reverie, which is like the dreaming realm. I loved that concept because it's something I've never heard before. And all the beings in the book were also like beings that I hadn't heard of before. Like they weren't just like fae or vampires or something. They were nightmares and weavers. Weavers were the beings that live in the waking realm, and it's their responsibility to protect the boundary between the waking realm and the reverie. It was also really fun to read a book that I haven't heard pretty much any opinions about yet. I've seen anybody talk about this book yet online, and I don't often read books that I haven't heard anything about yet. So it's really nice to be able to just completely find my own opinion, because even though all the opinions that I share on the books that I read are my own opinions, I can't help but subconsciously be at least a little bit influenced by some things we've heard. That being said, I did really like this book. This book had a lot of setting up to do for a series, so I could see myself maybe rating another book in the series that's further along in the series higher than I will rate this one. I think I'm gonna land on a 3.75 stars because it wasn't quite a 4-star for me, because for one, I don't really believe in the romances that are blossoming yet. Once again, this is something that I will probably believe more as the series goes on. I also really want to know why Para Warwick, the like evil bad king in this book, is so bad. But I'm sure that's another thing that we'll find out as the series goes on. But as of right now, I have no idea what his motive is to be so evil. Yeah, this was super fun, super action-packed, has an awesome main female character, and I'm excited to read the next one in the series. It's one of those where not like I literally cannot wait to read the next one in the series, but I will be very excited when the next one comes out. So that's why we're landing on a 3.75. With all that being said, I definitely recommend Night Strider by Sophia Slade. I think you guys should all read it, especially since it's one that doesn't have a lot of reviews on it out yet. So I would love to see what you guys think of it. I've heard that if you enjoyed One Dark Window, you might really like this book. So maybe you should give it a try if you liked One Dark Window. Now that I've completed my Goodreads goal, the time has come to wrap this video up. Last sip of coffee. It's really gonna give me the energy to finish out this video. The first book we read together was Rules of Civility by Amor Tolls. I think I'm gonna land on a 3-star rating for that book. I don't really have any new thoughts to share on it. I thought it was very well written, very interesting to read about what a girl's life in her 20s in the 1930s may have been like. That style of historical fiction, I unfortunately just don't think is for me. But I'm still very glad I read it because I can't wait to talk to my mom about it. And I read Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie, which is also gonna get a 3-star for me for honestly kind of the opposite reasoning. I really enjoyed that book in a like can't look away type of way, but the way that those books are written, not the best, and it can be kind of cringy at sometimes. And then lastly, as we just talked about, I read Night Strider by Sophia Slade. That one is getting 3.75 stars from me. I would have loved to finish off my reading goal with at least one 5-star, but I still have a month left of the year, so maybe it'll be a 5-star in December. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me as I finished off my reading challenge for 2024. I can't believe we're in the very last month of the year, but if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe because I am posting every day for a week for Bookmas, so I'll have a new video posted tomorrow. I hope to see you then. Bye!